Hi guys, welcome back to Health and Fit Alex. My name is Alex. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notified every single time I post, hit that little bell icon. Right now I have a goal of getting 1,000 subscribers by October 2021. So if you want to help me out with that goal and follow along in my journey, please hit that subscribe button. Most of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to me. So join the community, join the club. So today we are going to be meal prepping, meal planning. I am not particularly great at planning out time to do this. So it is convenient that I'm also making it a video, kind of goes hand in hand. Right now I am currently making my lunch. I am cooking some chicken. I put 3 pounds of chicken, 1 cup of water in the Instapot and set it to the poultry setting. If you have a different pressure cooker and you don't have a poultry setting, then it is 15 minutes, and make sure you put at least a cup of water in there. I would say do a cup of water and then do a half cup for every additional pound over 1 pound of chicken. I'm going to take and turn it into some buffalo chicken, and then I will show you my lunch when it's all done. We have a couple of things that we're going to be making. Most of the stuff that we're going to be doing today is just chopping and prepping and a little bit of cleaning. And then we will get some of the stuff prepped for meals that we plan on doing in the next coming week. And I've already gone grocery shopping. Right now it's hard to film because wearing a mask, it's hard to talk to the camera, and then also it can be very crowded in grocery stores and not a lot of people, I live in a very small town, so not a lot of people film or vlog or do YouTube in my town. So it's not as openly seen as something that people just do. You get a lot of weird looks and a lot of comments, and I don't want that. So right now I am just going to show you what I'm making, how I'm making it, how I'm prepping it, and how I'm setting up myself for a fantastic week with my food and stuff. Alright, today's kind of a laid back lounge sort of day because I know I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleaning. House needs some work on the floors, and I'm gonna have to do some dishes. And here is all the clean dishes. These aren't even all of them. There's some in there, not tons. But the good thing is that I don't have any dirty dishes right now until I clean my fridge. So right now, while my chicken is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting these things away, and then I will start taking stuff out of my fridge. So let's go on to the time lapse. Okay, so my chicken has released on its own, so now I'm going to show you guys, I don't know why I just punched myself. So now I'm going to show you guys how I shred it and then what I do to make it buffalo chicken. So sadly this requires a stand mixer of some sort. You don't have to have a KitchenAid, but I do, and this is how I use it. If you want super quick shredded chicken, you don't have to have the KitchenAid to be able to do this, but some kind of electric mixer. I'm sure you could do it with a hand mixer. You could probably do this with a food processor as well. And then because I'm making buffalo chicken, I have the attachment that has a little scraper on it, so that way when I add in sauce and cheese, it will it'll keep it mixing, and so it won't just fly around the bowl. I am also going to use these glass containers to store the extra chicken that I'm not turning into buffalo chicken, and these are the brand Ello. I do write on them. This one is needs to be wiped off, so maybe we'll do that today too. I absolutely love all of my Ello food storing bowls, and you'll see a lot of them today because I use them quite frequently. After the chicken is cooked, I transfer it to the mixer. Then I turn it on to the lowest setting and let it run until my desired consistency. I like it pretty shredded, so it's not in any kind of strips or anything. It's easiest to make soups and casseroles and dips with that. I also like using this technique to make chicken noodle soup or turkey casseroles, and it works really, really well. After separating out the plain chicken, I can add in the ingredients for the buffalo chicken. This is a few tablespoons of dairy-free cream cheese. Here I'm using Miyoko's. Buffalo sauce, I prefer the Frank's, and dairy-free cheese. This is Violife. Cheddar, and then I've also used Colby Jack, which I prefer. And then I put some on my plate for lunch and package the rest up for later. So I just like to eat this with chips. I got a good helping here. I'm actually gonna microwave this for a couple of seconds to get the cheese nice and melty, and I might add a little bit of cheese on top because it just adds a little extra deliciousness. If you have some pico or salsa, you can also add that in there. Makes it super scrumptious. This is like a super quick and easy meal, especially if you're trying to eat a little healthier, but you need something that's kind of satisfying. These are the chips that I use. These are Siete brand, and I really like the sea salt ones. They also have dip chips, they have nacho, they have a whole bunch of kinds. My husband loves the lime version of these. They are a gluten-free, grain-free chip. I am going to take a little break from prepping, and I am going to have some food, and I will be back. It's actually several hours later, if you can't tell. Mostly because sometimes I just run out of steam. So we're going to combat that right now. I haven't been drinking coffee, and it's been 2 weeks. The last cup of coffee I had was on Thanksgiving, and it's December 10th. So I'm going to teach you a really good coffee alternative recipe. So I am using the Vita Protein's collagen creamer, along with Swiss Miss non-dairy hot cocoa, and about a half a cup of Ripple non-dairy milk. And then I added some boiled water and mixed that with my milk frother. Now I am going to clean my fridge. The first thing I like to do when I start meal prepping is cleaning my fridge, because I feel like it's just a really nice refresh. It's like doing your laundry at the end of the week. And this way I know what I have and I know what I might need, and then it's also easier to figure out meals and meal plans if you know what's bad and what's good. This week's meal prep was kind of straightforward and pretty self-explanatory as far as weeks could go. I did a lot more chopping and sort of veggie prep and pre-cooking things to make meals out of them instead of just actually making the meals, which I will definitely do that for January. I am snapping my green beans so that way they're really easy to cook. This has come in handy so much. I brought some of them over to my mom's house for a little dinner that we had, and we've created kind of a quarantine pod with them. So something I really wanted to try this week was saving some of the greens I already had. So I took this casserole dish and cleaned it out, and then put two paper towels in there. Then I dumped my spinach out so that way I can look for any of the really soggy parts. Those are the parts that are going to make your spinach wilt faster. And I didn't actually use this a whole lot. I think because it was kind of out of sight, sort of in the bottom of my fridge where everything was stacked on top of it, it made it harder for me to use, but I definitely think it helped a little bit. Now, with this arugula, it was already going off. It was already tasting real funky. So it looks like I kind of threw a bunch away here. I promise you that most of it was a little wilted and a lot of it had turned colors. So I just took a big chunk out of the middle, knowing that I could probably use it for some soup if it didn't last. And then the rest of this I got rid of because we could not eat that much off arugula in soup. And I added another paper towel on top just to kind of try to soak up as much of that moisture as I can, so that way I create less mold. I accidentally put the lid on with water on it from cleaning it, so I reapplied it. And yeah, that is a really easy little thing I'm trying, little hack to try to keep my greens fresher longer. Through this whole thing, I'm using these LO containers, which are my absolute favorite thing, and I'm currently working on trying to get more and more because you can put them in the freezer and the oven, and I can do almost anything with these guys. I absolutely love them. Now, I am cutting Brussels sprouts here. I bought these a little bit ago. They're still good. They're not off yet. So I'm trying to salvage them as much as I can. If anything, my husband will eat them. He absolutely loves Brussels sprouts. I stay away from cruciferous vegetables now, knowing that I have nodules on my thyroid because they can make those worse. There are only a couple of foods and stuff that I stay away from because of this, but I don't want to make it any worse than it already is. Sadly, I really like some cauliflower stuff, and so it is a little sad that I don't get to eat some of those things. So this week I decided to get some cucumber as well, and I wanted to be a little bit better about snacking, and if it was pre-done, I've been having carrots for a snack, and the benefit of those is that they're like ready to eat. So if I was hungry, wanted a snack, and I had to cut the cucumber, I know it would deter me slightly. That might sound silly to you, but if you struggle with motivation or trying to get enough calories in, or at least get enough nutrients in, I should say, this is definitely something that you should give it a try. I have also been told to try putting salt and pepper on my cucumbers. I haven't done it yet, but it sounds pretty good. It sounds something that I would like. So I plan on making myself a little snack kind of tray thing during the week, and I'm hoping that I can keep this cucumber longevity wise, so that way I didn't waste my money on this guy. This is probably a weird one, but my health coach posted about this on her Instagram stories, and I thought it looked quite interesting. So she took a bell pepper and put cream cheese and some salt pepper. This bell pepper is kind of going a little funky. I don't know if he will be that great going into the week, but I was going to give it a shot. I was trying to eat a bunch of vegetables, and I also wanted to get in some more sulfur into my diet because it's really great for thyroid health, for digestion, for balancing your hormones, and all that. And shiitake mushrooms are one of my favorite. I would say my only favorite. That's not true. My favorite easily accessed mushroom. So I got some of those, and I really like putting them in omelets or egg scrambles in the morning for breakfast. And they are also really good in some like lunch bowls and stuff like that. That are really comforting. I can also make gravy, like a kind of healthier alternative gravy with some of the potatoes that I still have left. So I pre-sliced these, which I know people say don't do that if you want your mushrooms to last, but honestly, if I'm going to eat them, they need to be pre-sliced. And I know I said I was trying to avoid cruciferous vegetables. I had this cauliflower rolling around in the back of my fridge for a while now, and it had a lot of really funky brown spots, so I just decided to get rid of it and do something else for that recipe, or just completely scrap it entirely, because I'm just really not motivated to make that one. It's a little bit more labor intensive with having to cut the cauliflower, so I think I'll switch that one out. So I am pre-chopping my onions. This works fantastic. I find that for me, onions keep really, really well in the fridge, and I had a yellow onion and a bunch of red onions. I had so much red onion. Thankfully, I'll be able to use this for soups and casseroles and all kinds of stuff. So we do really enjoy onion. I had to run back and forth to the sink several times to wash my hands because onions make me cry. And this big, giant red onion right here, it had a couple of bruises because it was a couple weeks old, and holy cow, it made me cry so bad. I had to take a little bit of a breather after doing this one. Thankfully, I left these to the end, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But this guy killed me. It was like peeling it was terrible. The only thing that I know that stops crying or reduces crying with onions is washing your hands. And obviously make sure that you don't touch your hands to your face. If I have to push up my glasses, I try to use my arm or my elbow, and I just wash my hands a lot in between onions, and while I'm cutting onions, because I cry a lot with onions. I'm not immune to their ways. And now I'm cleaning up a little bit here, and I also am going to label all of my containers. This is something newish that I want to start doing. I have labeled containers in the past, but I'm thinking that I want to continue labeling and start labeling better. So what I did was I used masking tape and Sharpie, and I wrote on there what it was and either the date that I bought it, if it was like an uncooked fresh vegetable or fruit, and if it was cooked, then it was the date that it was cooked. So like the chicken would have had that day's date, and then those vegetables I had bought 1 or 2 days before or a week before, and so I wrote that down. And and I kind of played Tetris with my fridge, getting them all in there, and put everything in there. I swear to you, I have never been this prepped in my life. So I'm going off the tripod and show you all of the organization that's in the fridge. I honestly am not this organized all the time, but I went through all of my sauces and kind of tried to organize them so they're easier to find. I'm thinking I'll get a Lazy Susan so that way you can just spin stuff and find it a little bit easier. This next shelf, I try to keep things not too like pushed forward and cluttered. But we've got some sauces, some things we need to eat up. That chicken broth I made today, this was a snack that I packaged up from the other day. We have all of our cheeses back there. Some of these Miracle Noodles, I don't like them, but my husband eats them, so I like to keep them in a Tupperware jar so they're not flopping everywhere. His cheese. And then this is our section where we like to keep meats or maybe leftovers, stuff that we need to eat soonish. So this I do want to make some soup with. We've obviously got our eggs and then the chicken I just made. And then I have some smoked salmon, some turkey, all that stuff back there. Then down here, this is all the stuff that I just prepped. So we've got some snacks over here. These are some local drinks that we like to have. Obviously our big containers are down here, but again, we try to keep things prepped down here and things that we leftovers, things that we need to eat soon here. And then I threw some of these smaller containers in here. I don't know why, but some of our stuff in our fridge leaks, so I'll clean that up later. But some of the stuff that's in plastic I put down here, so it's a little bit easier to slide the drawer in and out. The stuff in our door doesn't get changed too often because usually we eat this stuff. Here, I'll start from the top. So this is a lot of our dairy products. I don't know why, but when we moved into this house, the flippy thing that's supposed to be here isn't here. So I have some vegan butter. I like the Kite Hill or the Miyoko's. They just came out with a sea salt, which is really good. And then I also have a lot of this cream cheese, again, to make that chicken, or I like to put this on crackers. And then the fish-free lox is very good with smoked salmon and crackers. So that's a really good snack I like to keep on hand. Then next, we've got some open bone broth and some skincare products, medicine. I also have a jar of chives because I like to keep fresh chives for things like my eggs in the morning. This is also some vegan cheese. Smaller stuff goes in here, same with like tomato paste, stuff that we like to have on hand. This is more of our like sauces, and usually tall sauces that I don't want to stick up there. And then this is where we keep all of our coffee creamers or alternative milks. And so I like to drink Ripple. I also cook with this. I really like the original one. I think that one is my favorite. My husband uses half and half for his coffee, so he keeps that in there. And then we have an extra half and half, some bone broth. This is some other beef broth. And then I have this latte in here as well for when I feel like drinking that. Now I am going to take the trash out, finish doing some of the dishes, and then chill out for a little bit before I start making dinner. I used Bonza shells, this Primal Kitchen Alfredo sauce, which I had to thin out slightly with the Kettle and Fire bone broth. I was making Alfredo, if you can't tell, and it ended up looking like this. It tasted really good. That is it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, please hit that subscribe button. Again, like I said, most of the people who watch my content are not subscribed to me. And I do have that goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers by October 2021. So please help me out with that goal and hit that button. If you really like my content, hit that little notification button so that way you can be notified every single time that I post. Thank you all so much for watching my video, and I will see you next week. Bye!